In this video, I'm going to show you 4 easy, simple, and effective paths that you can use to start an online business. Now, all you'll have to do is choose one of these paths, follow the guidelines, and get started. I've used these paths successfully in my first business at Jazz Piano School. Other online CEO entrepreneurs have used them as well. They're very common, they're very simple, and they're very effective. There's also a free downloadable guidebook that goes along with all the education that I'm going to teach you in this video, and that can be found by going to brendenlowe.com/4 and then the word paths. Brenden, BRENDEN Lowe.com/4 paths. Download that guidebook. It's very, very useful. It's going to go along with all the education that I'm going to be teaching you today. It's going to break down the pros and cons of each path, and you can use it throughout your business journey. My name is Brenden Lowe, creator and founder of Creative Freedom Academy and this particular channel. Thank you for watching the very first episode on this channel. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. But with that being said, let's dive in. All right, welcome to the Creative Freedom Academy podcast. I am your host, Brenden Lowe, and thank you so much for being here. This is going to be the very first episode of this particular podcast. And again, I appreciate your support. Whenever you're listening to this, it's probably just my mom right now, but who cares, right? So the first thing I want to say to you is every day, every single day, every moment of every day, you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to change your life. And you have decisions you can make in these moments every single day. And it doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter how bad life seems to be. Doesn't matter how much you feel like you're just trudging through mud, trying to find any sort of light, right? The greatest thing is that every second, every moment, even right now, you have the ability, you have the opportunity to make a decision that can move you in a different direction in your life and get you what you want, okay? So again, just a little bit of an introduction there. My name is Brenden Lowe. I'm going to be the host of Creative Freedom Academy. Thank you guys so much for being here. Essentially, what this is going to be about is mainly about business. And I'm going to get to myself in just a second. But mainly, I want to put this podcast out there for anyone that's looking for business advice, that's looking for life advice, motivation, inspiration, and just kind of trying to make it, the grind, the hustle. And it's hard, right? If you're not trying to shape your life, then it's going to do that for you, right? Life will certainly shape it for you if you're not kind of combating all the variables in life, all the forces, because there's so many things that go against you, right? And so essentially, I'm here to tell you that with systematic educational steps, you can achieve your dreams, you can get what you want, and you can move forward and be everything that you can be. Now, I know I said before, this is mainly going to be about business, but I'm so big into inspiration. I'm so big into mentalities, your mental mind state, staying healthy, really trying to take advantage of every single moment. So I'm going to sprinkle these things in throughout the podcast as well. But again, who is this going to be for? If you're listening right now and already you're like, I don't know about this. Okay, let me tell you who this podcast is going to be for. This is going to be for anyone that is some sort of creative person, even if you don't feel like you're a creative person, that wants more from life, that's sick of maybe their 9-to-5 job. I know that's pretty cliche, but you may want more from life. You may want more freedom. You may want more time. You may want more money, right? You may just want to change, and you don't really know what that change is, but you know inside of yourself, you absolutely want something. So this podcast is going to be for anyone that wants any of these things that I just mentioned. It's going to be for anyone stuck in a job that they hate, stuck in a job that controls them, stuck in a job that they hate going to, is soul-sucking, right? Because I've been there before. I'll tell you my story in just a second. But it's going to be for anyone that wants freedom, right? And the name of the podcast is Creative Freedom Academy. So I'm going to be giving you business steps, freedom steps, creative life steps that you can take to make these changes in your life. Now, like I said, if you're stuck in some sort of job that you hate, or maybe you don't even have a job and you're looking for purpose, this podcast is going to be for you. So I'm really, really excited to be here. You could be here for a number of other reasons too. I just kind of thought of that as well. But all of those reasons are going to apply to you. And essentially, as I move forward in the podcast, you'll probably learn a lot of things about yourself, about life, about business, and you may stumble upon the certain thing that you want or you're called to do in life, because finding a purpose, finding ambition, it's difficult. It doesn't just come to you. You need to work at it, right? You really need to work at it. I had a great mentor one time that said, action creates reaction. So a lot of times people think motivation just comes to me. A lot of times people think I'm just sitting here and I'm motivated to do this. And sometimes I am, but a lot of times I'm not. I have to force myself. And then after completing something, that's going to lead me to more momentum. It's going to bring momentum, inspiration, motivation into my life about certain projects after I force myself to do something. I know it's a kind of a crappy way of finding motivation, finding inspiration in life, but unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. So sometimes we have to force ourselves to do that. But who am I, right? Who am I? Hopefully I've said enough where you are kind of engaged at this point. You're kind of interested, you're curious, but you're not really sure. I listen to a lot of podcasts too, so I know exactly how it goes. You know, you flip on a new podcast, you're like, what's this person about? What's this show about, right? These days you can find podcasts about anything, video games, TV shows. It's so funny. I've listened to all of these. But my name is Brenden Lowe. I am a musician at heart. I'm a creative musician at heart. I love being creative. I love my time. I love freedom. I used to work a 9 to 5. I'll get more into that in a second. I used to work a 9 to 8 really, or like a 6 to 8. And since then, I'm truly a musician. I went to school for jazz piano performance. I started playing piano when I was 5 years old. Can you believe that? No, earlier, I think 3 to 4. And so I've been playing piano my whole life. I went to school for jazz piano. I got a college degree in jazz piano performance. And then guess what? As a creative person, as a person who is driven by the arts, I graduated from school and I said, well, what do I do now, right? How am I going to make money? How am I going to pay the bills? Because it was, all fun and games up until the point where I got thrown into real life and I actually had to do some real life adulting, right? I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So I started to work as a personal trainer because I was always into sports. I was always into health and fitness. I wasn't trying to get bodybuilder style, but I just liked going to the gym. I just really enjoyed going to the gym, staying healthy. It made me feel good. It made my mind feel good. It made me feel confident. It made me just help me in life. I just realized that health and fitness was really important to me, my body, my mind, for me to stay in a good mental, healthy mindset. Otherwise, if I wasn't going to the gym, I started feeling depressed and sluggish, unmotivated. And I found that going to the gym, exercising, staying active really turned all that stuff around, and it was consistent. I had consistent, healthy mindset from going to the gym. Whereas if I wasn't, again, I would eat poorly. I would be sad, depressed. The outlook that I had on life just wouldn't be the same. Okay, you get it. Anyway, so I got into personal training and I was working as a personal trainer. I eventually became a personal training manager. So I learned a lot about sales. I was selling personal training in the gym. And again, my hours were insane. So I worked as a personal training manager, believe it or not, for about 10 to 12 years. And managing personal trainers, teaching personal trainers, not just how to personal train, but how to really sell personal training. Actually, that was my job. And we had sales quotas for the gym. And, obviously the personal trainers are there to get clients, but again, it's for the best of reasons. They're trying to help people get more fit, stay more healthy because they're the experts, right? So even though we were selling personal training, I truly believed in that sale, in that product that we were selling because it worked so well for myself. So I loved doing what I was doing. The only thing that killed me was that I was completely invested in personal training and managing, and I was working, again, 12-hour days, and it was nuts, right? 60, 70, sometimes 80-hour work weeks. It was just absolutely insane. I couldn't do music. Now, my true passion is music. My true passion is being free, right? I love just having freedom. And you'll notice the logo that I have for my business at BrendenLowe.com. By the way, I'm still getting used to this particular podcast. I do have a podcast with my other business, Jazz Piano School, which I'll talk to you about in a second, which I have over 280 episodes. But I'm getting used to this platform here. If you go to BrendenLowe.com, you can check out all the information I have available for you, and I'll get into a really amazing piece of free resource that you can download today to help you get started. But essentially, what I did was I ended up quitting my job, and I was like, how am I going to make a living? How am I going to support myself and do what I love, which was jazz piano? And eventually, long story short, I created an online business called Jazz Piano School. And you can find that now at jazzpianoschool.com. It's been over 9 years. I have over 1 million subscribers. I just kicked the camera. Excuse me, I don't have over 1 million subscribers. That would be fun. I would be pretty famous. 1 million views, active views on YouTube, and essentially moving into so many other things. Over 280 podcasts. I've helped thousands and thousands of people learn jazz piano through Jazz Piano School. And it's a full membership website that you can go to learn jazz piano. You can buy courses, you can sign up for the membership website, you can do programs with me through Zoom, through online programs, and there's a community, there's all these sorts of things. And it's so awesome. Like, it's so much fun. I have so much fun running it, and it's supported me and my lifestyle, right? I'm not a lavish person. I don't spend a lot of money, but it's supported me. It's paid the bills. It's allowed me to go out to eat. It's allowed me to, do the things I need to do, pay for some car parts if that ever comes up. I don't own a fancy car or anything like that, but it allows me to just survive and have the most important thing that I love in life, which is freedom and time. Freedom and time. Because even just sitting here today, having my own free will to be here and record this video, I will take any day over following someone else's orders, following someone's commands to do what they want me to do and work for someone else and make them money, right? Working to make them money and not myself. At least I have the opportunity to control my own destiny now, which is exactly why I'm here. This is exactly what I want for you as well. All right? So again, like I said, I started my first business, jazzpianoschool.com, over 9 years ago. And now I'm here starting a second business under my own name, BrendenLowe.com. And the name of this podcast is the Creative Freedom Academy Podcast. And the name of my business, essentially, it's really under my own name, Brenden Lowe, but creative freedom is what I want to be teaching you. Okay, and the Creative Freedom Academy, when I launch my courses and my membership, essentially that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the steps necessary for you to take to learn how to integrate creative freedom into your life so that you can maybe build a business for yourself. And when I say business, I use that term lightly because I don't really think, when I think of a business, I think of like Coca-Cola, I think of big companies, corporations. It kind of gives me an icky feeling in my stomach. A business in my day is more of along the lines of a digital CEO entrepreneur, right? Where you can kind of control your destiny. You can sit down in your home office like I am right now. You can set up your video camera. You can set up a podcast, and you can just start talking and videotaping yourself and create content that viewers want, right? That viewers need. There's a siren going by right now. And essentially just create a business for yourself in your home office, in your home. Anyone can do it these days, which is so amazing. And I just absolutely love it. The opportunity, the potential that people have these days that you have today has never been more hopeful. There's never been so much opportunity for someone to control their destiny and do what they love. I talk a lot with my hands, so I'm trying to get used to like my spatial surroundings here. I got my computer, but super excited for all that. Let's get into, I don't want to make this first episode too long. I wanted to give introductions and kind of let you know who I am and what's going to be expected on this podcast. Now, funny enough, I've recorded actually about I don't really remember, about 19 other podcasts that I started before. Okay, so in life, in business, it's not a straight line. It's going to be a bumpy, rocky, stormy road to get to your goals, to get to your ambitions. And I've actually recorded 19 other podcasts that I've taken down, and I'm starting over from scratch. How crazy is that? Right? Because there's things I wanted to do right. I wanted to serve my audience in the best way possible. I wanted to have video, and I wanted to do a couple things. Anyway, I'm starting over. I recorded 19 podcasts again previously, and I'm starting over. So funny enough, you go to my website, you can listen to all those previous podcasts, which are kind of fun to do. But again, here we are, episode number 1. So let's get into what the title of this podcast is. Okay, I won't do that whole long-winded introduction again. How to start an online business. So I kind of went over what an online business is, and it doesn't even have to be online, because I'm going to talk about musicians. I'm going to be doing interviews with musicians who have their own business, right, quote unquote, as a musician, as an artist. And they're not always online, but they do online things to help promote and stimulate their culture, their environment, their business, right? And again, don't get hung up on that word, because it can be kind of a triggering word for a lot of you. Oh, I could never start a business. I can never start a business. Sometimes you can't say I can do something, but sometimes you can say it's possible. It's possible, right? So, for example, some guests I'm having, they're all artists and musicians, and their job is to play music, but they have a large following, they have an audience, and they're utilizing online techniques, online business, right, to help stimulate their career, stimulate their growth through emails, through social media platforms, through websites, right, all this stuff. And essentially, that's what online business can look like for you. It doesn't have to be this huge, overwhelming corporation company where you have an office, you have to go to work, right? You have to rent out all this space. I had a brick and mortar business a long time ago called that I did resistance training and flexibility and stuff. This is way back in Boston a long time ago. But that was going to work in an office. You don't need that. I'm literally sitting in my home office right now and talking to you, and this is the start of my new business. The term business has completely changed in 2023, right? The term business can be anything. It can be you just filming videos on YouTube. Like, have you got on YouTube recently? There's kids that are making millions of dollars filming review videos for toys, or like they have their own channels, 7, 8, 10-year-olds. It's absolutely nuts, and they're running multi-million-dollar businesses through YouTube. So I encourage you in this first episode to think about the word business, not really as like go to a big corporation, a big office that might feel overwhelming. A business can look like this. An online business can look like this. Coming into your office, right? Right now it's 11 a.m. in the morning, and I did some work before. I went to the gym, did some work on jazz piano school. Now I'm filming a podcast. I literally stepped into my office. I got some food over here, right? I have a little mini desk table set up with a microphone, okay? And I'm just starting my business by filming content. So this is what it can look like. This is the freedom that you can actually have. And it doesn't matter if you're a musician, an artist, if you're someone who's going to work every day, if you're working a crappy job you don't like, you want to get out of, if you want to make a change in your life, if you want more money, if you want more time, you want more freedom, this is what it can look like, okay? But how do we get there? How do we get there? How do you start an online business? All right, I understand. Now, there's a lot of words that are thrown out there, like, and it's rough because the online marketers and things like that, you're going to hear me say a lot of different types of lingo. They kind of give a bad name to starting an online business because you'll go online and it's like, oh, make $1 million just by doing this one tactic, or buy my product and you'll make $1 million, right? Essentially, then these words like scam and what other words? Con artist, all these terms start thrown around, and essentially it diminishes the value and the authenticity of what I'm doing right now and what even kids on YouTube are doing right now. Are they scammers? Are they con artists? No, right? And essentially what they're doing is just utilizing and taking opportunity of today's world, today's online world. So how do we start an online business? Essentially, what I did with Jazz Piano School 9 years ago was, here was my thought process. This is exactly what I did. First of all, I needed an audience. Right? I'm going to be using a lot of different analogies. When I was in the gym, my audience was built in. So the customers were already kind of customers. They were built into the gym. So as a personal trainer and as a personal training manager, I did both, obviously. I would walk around the floor and I'd help people. Now, these people were my potential future customers. If I showed them that I could help them with something, if I showed them that they could achieve results with me, they could lose weight, they could get stronger because of the education, because of the systematic fitness plan I could help them with and get them going with, they might become a customer. Now, that's exactly what I did with Jazz Piano School, but I didn't have a built-in audience. So number one is you need an audience. And I'll talk about how to get an audience more in later episodes and things like that. But you need an audience, right? You need people to listen to you. You need people to know, like, and trust you, which is a big feature in business. And eventually they may become a potential customer if they're going to buy some of your product, right? Maybe an educational product that you have online for sale for them. Who knows? Maybe it's a CD album. Maybe it's coming to a concert if you're an artist. Maybe it's buying your art maybe it's going to a show if you're a dancer. Maybe if you want to develop an online membership, maybe it's buying your membership, right? Whatever your product is, but you need an audience. So that's going to be in no particular order. Well, I should say, yes, in particular order. You need an audience first. So with Jazz Piano School, to come back around, I started with content, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So I am literally putting out content, recording videos, because I truly want to help people deep down inside. I want to help. I love helping. I love talking about business. I love having conversations about business, about how I can help someone develop more freedom, more time, more money in their life by doing what it is they love the most, by pursuing their passion and making income from that. Right? That's what I love. I love helping. Obviously, music as well. I love helping teach people how to play jazz piano, help them learn how to play jazz piano. That's very exciting to me as well. So I just love helping in general. So putting out content these days is how you can build an audience. And it's a slow process. It's a slow game. But eventually, people start to see your videos. They start to connect with you, your personality. And, not everyone's going to like me. I get that. That's cool. Okay. I don't like everyone either. Some people will be attracted to what I have to offer. Some people won't. And guess what? There's lots of authors in this world. Okay. There's lots of authors in this world. Just because one author writes a book about one topic, it doesn't mean that topic is shut down, right? No one else can write about that topic ever again. Of course not. People are drawn to different authors. Just because I have a book in my bookshelf back here on one topic doesn't mean I'm not going to go listen to someone else or listen to someone else or listen to someone else on that same exact thing, right? So even though there's a lot of people out there teaching about online business, teaching about online marketing, they don't have my story, right? They're not me. They don't have the same DNA as me. I'm a completely different author. So that's a great teaching point for you. When you're going to do something, it doesn't matter how many other people have done it before you, right? You are you. You are an individual person, okay? And what people like about someone else, or what people don't like about someone else, I should say, they might love about you. They might love about your personality. So putting content out there for people to know, like, and trust you, develop a relationship with you, is how you start to build an audience. Now, I teach this to my clients that I'm already working with already, is that there's two ways to do this. You can put out free content or you can use paid ads. And I'm not going to talk about paid ads just yet. But if you want to build a solid business foundation, free content is the way to go. If you're an artist, musical artist, Spotify has turned into your free content platform, right? Putting out music for other people to discover you. Right? People have blown up on Spotify. YouTube is essentially a search engine, putting out content onto YouTube so people find you. You start to build your brand, you start to build your audience, and then boom, lots of people are waiting for you to put out a podcast. They're waiting for your next podcast. They like listening to you. I have so many podcasts that I follow. I follow all these podcasts. I listen to them, and I'm excited every single week to hear what's next, right? One of the podcasts I listen to is called the Wine CEO. Shout out to Wine CEO. I'd love to have her on my podcast to interview her, how she got started. And I love wine. I love listening about wine. And she started with episode 1. And now she's over 100 episodes, right? So hopefully, Wine CEO, if you're listening, maybe you can come on my podcast and we can talk about business a little bit together. That would be fun. But anyway, that's how she started, right? And so she started with 1 episode and just working her way up, putting content out. And now she has lots of, okay, let's move on to step 2, is the product. The product. So once you have an audience, essentially there's really only 2 steps. You need an audience, and then you need something to sell to them, a product, right? Now, a lot of people, I keep kicking the camera. I got to get used to this. A lot of people get kind of clammed up with the use of the word product or sales, right? Because you can think of a used car salesman, but I'm going to say this right off the bat. You need to think about products as being a service, right? When I would go to sell personal training, I knew that my services, no matter what, were going to help the person in front of me. Okay, they were going to benefit from my service that I was going to sell them, right? Now, is that an icky thing, right? Even though I'm using the word sell, is it an icky thing? Does it give you a weird feeling? Because it never did for me. And that's because I believed in the product. And I believe what I'm doing now is going to help lots and lots of people change their life, because it changed my life too. Not to get too much into my story, but I was miserable. I was miserable working at the gym, right? Overworked, tired, depressed, making not great money, and just a slave. I was a slave to that corporation, and it was terrible, right? So if I can help you change your ways, since starting jazz piano school, I've been happier. I've been able to achieve more goals. I feel lighter, less stress, right? If I'm able to help you do that and get what you want, then I'm doing a great service to you. And if I have a product, a course, if you work with me one-on-one or maybe in one of my group coaching programs, and I help you do that and I sell that to you, is that a bad thing? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right? Now, if I sell you a car that doesn't work and I know it doesn't work, that's where it gets iffy. That's where it starts to say, okay, this is wrong. You shouldn't be selling this crappy thing to this person. This car doesn't work. That's scammy. That's a con artist, right? But that's not what I'm doing. That's not what lots of people on the internet are doing, actually. Most online business CEO, digital entrepreneurs are really passionate about what they do, and they're really working to help people and put that out there and put their services and education out there, right? I have 9 years of experience in building an online business, being successful with it. My business has grossed over $1 million in the time that I've built it, right? I don't make $1 million every year, right? But it's grossed over $1 million since I've made it. That's pretty amazing. And I have all my experience from doing this, from educational courses I've purchased on business, tens of thousands of dollars I spent on education to learn how to do this, right? Now, here I am. I want to give back and do the same thing for my other fellow people that are in the same shoes as me right now, that want change, that want freedom, that want more money, that are sick of whatever they're doing, that are creative people that want to spread their wings and fly, right? Not to be too cheesy and cliche, but that's exactly what I wanted to do. Every day I wake up, I'm so grateful that I can do what I want to a degree. Obviously, I do gigs and play rehearsals still. Yeah, I'm still a full-time musician because I love it. I love playing jazz piano. I love playing music. So if I don't have a rehearsal or something, but I get to choose and pick what I want to do in the day. That to me is the number one thing I want in my life, is freedom, right? Anyway, when you have a product, you can offer your product to your audience that you've built up. And back when I first started jazz piano school, I had built up about 2,000 people, like 1,500 to 2,000 people. I don't quite remember, but I'd built a product and it was a beginner jazz piano course. Okay. Now, once I think it took me about a year or so, maybe less, 6 to 8 months to build up a following of about 2,000 people. And I was sending them information. I was giving them information. Excuse me. And finally, I was like, my course is ready, my beginner jazz piano course. And I offered it to them because they liked me at that point. I was being consistent. I was being honest, truthful, and they wanted to learn jazz piano from me. So that's how I made my first dollar online, right? And these days, you know, through companies, eBay, Etsy, I mean, eBay has been around for a while. You could sell something on eBay and make your first dollar online, right? But I made my first true dollar through my own platform, through my own service, through my own free will of creating a business by growing a following and audience, by putting out content. I made videos, I wrote blog posts. We'll get way more into this. And then I made a product. I made a course, which was a beginner jazz piano course. And I offered it to people. And guess what? People bought. People wanted to buy my course, and they did, right? And so the first offering I ever made, I made about $5,000. And I was like, I was hooked. I was sold. I was like, wow, I literally just made money from a creative project that I put my efforts into that gave me back money. And on the other end, people were satisfied and happy with what I had to offer, right? With the jazz piano course that I had built. And I was like, I'm in for life, baby. I'm in. I need to do this forever, right? I need to be my own boss. I need to be my own digital CEO, entrepreneur, and help others, give them a service, give them education, right? I'm not developing a software or anything like that. It's all educationally based. We can talk about that a little bit later, but essentially services and education-based products, and they were able to learn from it and be extremely happy because they got results from it, okay? So really two things. If you're still with me listening, I should have said this in the beginning, but you live, you learn, right? I don't know why I didn't. But if you're interested in the 4 paths that I teach to growing and starting an online business that will clarify things for you, make things extremely, extremely simple, go to brendenlowe.com/4 and then the word paths. Brenden Lowe. Now, Brenden is spelled with an E, by the way, BRENDEN Lowe, LWE.com/4 and then paths. And you can get this amazing free resource PDF guidebook I created on the 4 business paths that you need to know about to start a business. And you can choose and pick one of the paths that can work for you to start your own online business. And it's super easy to follow, very extremely knowledgeable, and you can go get that completely free at my website, and I'll send it to you. All right? Thank you guys so much for listening. If you are still with me and you are enjoying this, I would highly recommend a review, a thumbs up. If you want to watch these videos on YouTube, if you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below to get all the podcasts, all the education that I send out. If you're on podcasts listening through Spotify, iTunes, or any doodad or platform that this podcast is on, definitely subscribe to the podcast too, because that way you won't miss it. And if you have time, I would love a 5-star review. Just a little comment. I'm going to do some shout outs soon to people who write in and are enjoying the podcast and are getting information from me and they find it helpful, right, in their life, whether that's feeling motivated, inspired, learning from me how to start an online business, learning how to integrate creative freedom into their life and make a change for the better and pursue their goals. I would love to hear from you. If you want to learn more about any of the educational services that I offer, coaching, things like that, go to brendenlowe.com. You can find all that information there. Thank you so much for being with me today. And it's been a pleasure to release this first episode to you. There'll be many, many more. And I'm really, really looking forward to getting some more information to you and talking all about the different ways you can change your life that I can help you with. Okay? Thanks so much. I'll talk to you soon. Until then, I hope you have a great day.